So today on our program, we're going to look at the American Constitution. And one of the reasons why we put that up is just for us to see, because a lot of people want to, refer to American this, American that, American this. I don't know about the other people, we the Igbos, we have democracy now, even in our common family now. Where I'm raising my kids, I allow my kids to come on Thursday night, we meet and I allow them to tell us what we are doing wrong. We tell them what they're doing wrong, and then we hash it out and decide how we're going to move forward during the next week. And it has worked perfectly. And of course, it didn't come from hell. It came from the background where I come from. I've always been allowed to voice myself and be heard and be acknowledged, and be affirmed. And some people think everything came from Obodo Ibo. So we'll show you guys the Obodo Ibo style. We are not saying that it's not good. It was good and it was working for them. So the same token, we need to come up with things that will be good for our people and will work for our people, right? African problems will solve with African solutions because not everything will work for us. We don't want our boys coming around and thinking that they need to wear lipstick. It's not that serious. Yeah, there's a Vaseline.
It's not that serious.
We don't want that
kind. Let's take it easy. It's not that serious. It's not that style. Oh my God.
All right. And just to reaffirm what Brother Tony mentioned in the video, he's basically again talking about the 5-point agenda that we typically mention at the end of the show for people to see the steps are already there. We just need to take it. So like he said, we are asking Peter Obi if he still has God, fear of God left in him. We are asking Jagaban if he's still human, because I don't know if he's turning into an alien, to please release that so-called mandate that you guys have so that we can rework our relationship and give people life that they deserve. Why must all of this be about you guys? Why can't it be about the people?
Please, all right. The tag, the pinned comment is blocking the PowerPoint. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Let me see how to untag that.
As our sister Falashade. Thank you, ma. Yes, anyone who knows the history of Christianity will understand what we're talking about. Thank you, ma. Please continue to help us to share and hit the like buttons, because this information must get out to our people. They need to hear it. You're part of the team. We're working together. It's not one man's job. It's not one woman's job. Collectively, all the indigenous peoples all over Nigeria, all over Africa must arise and do this job. The foundation is already set. We are in the final phase.
Right, sorry, absolutely. Go ahead. So our 5-point agenda that he was referring
to. You're saying, sorry. Oh, you're going through the PowerPoint agenda. Yes. Okay, yes. Go ahead, please. Sorry.
Are you seeing it?
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me actually put it in slide mode. All right. So he mentioned the 5-point agenda, and I just wanted to run that, for those of us that are new on the show. Yes. Again, we've already encouraged our viewers to take a picture of this. If anybody is not addressing this, then we are not going anywhere. These are the 5-point agenda that we are insisting that P2B and those of you walking around waiting for your swollen mandates to come out, I guess they will vomit it out for you guys to know that this is what we need to do to move forward so that you can begin to live life like a human being. So the first one is an acknowledgement of grave constitutional grievances raised in union dispute as declared. And the second one is an express commitment to decommission the imposed 1999 unitary constitution, and express commission, the third one, an express commitment to shelve further national election under the 1999 constitution in order to initiate immediate transitioning process for fresh constitutional protocols. And then the fourth one is an invitation to the constituent peoples of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitioning arrangement. And the last but not least is the announcement of a two-band, two-stage transitioning process, which shall in the first stage future multi-regional referendums by which constituent components shall recommit to or opt out of the Nigerian Union. And in the second part, these two terms of union as may be detected by the outcome of the referendums. For the first time, Africans are proposing something that will not shed blood, that will not cause people to die, that will not cause mayhem, that these things will be done so that we can live life abundantly. They did it to us. They went to Africa and balkanized it. They didn't kill each other, and everybody took their cake and move on. And this is what we are trying to do for our people without shedding any further blood. And I don't know why the so-called pastors is not making sense to them. The spiritual leaders is not making sense to them. Haven't you guys sucked enough blood? Haven't you guys drank enough blood of our people? Can we do the right thing for the sake of our children? All right. So today we are going to look at the making of people's constitutions. And like we said, we do have constitution. It starts even with the family, right? Because if you're in a family where you're not allowed to talk because you're the wife that is in the toilet, that is relegated to the toilet, then you're in trouble. Where we come from, our parents
The wife that is in the other room.
room, the one that is in the other room. I remember waking up in the morning and my mother will praise me as if, like, and I'm there looking like I don't want to talk. And that
Yes.
her praise alone, just that affirmation alone, will just wake me up. So we come from a place where we were acknowledged, we were affirmed until this Umwekwensu came and destroyed everything and make it sound like they are the one that is whipping out the right thing.
No.
And let's go through it. All right. Of course, we cannot move forward without reminding our people where we live. You do live in the Osman Danfodio state, and they will ruthlessly prevent a change of power. They will ruthlessly use the minorities of the North as a willing tools and the South as a conquered territory. And they will ruthlessly will never allow you to rule over yourself or have a control over your future. What a demonic assertion from hell, from pits of hell, and people are allowing this to go on. They are chasing goose everywhere. When somebody makes such a declaration publicly, he wasn't in his toilet and he was caught on a video. He came out where his British masters were and sat there and made a public pronouncement of how they're going to deal with you guys. And everybody, about it. Ninas has come to give us life and life abundantly. Until you decide to choose it, you will be hanging in the forest or wilderness when it comes to Bible for another 400 years. So our objective today is to look at the American Constitution as the bedrock of American democracy. That was intentional. American democracy, because we don't want this notion that Africa don't know democracy. Africa is this, Africa is this. So we are intentional when we use that word. An overview of American constitutional making process, definition of constitution and examples, and what is common to all colonial system and structure in Africa. The four fundamental lies upon which Nigerian Union is currently erected and operated, and that's why we are not going forward. We make one step forward and then we go 500 steps backward. And then we will look at judiciary and democracy, how it has failed in Nigeria. They will swallow your mandate and tell you to come back next time, come back next time, come back next time. You will be doing next time, another 4 years will come by. And then we'll definitely shine spotlight on the wisdom of our ancestors. And by the way, we want to use this opportunity to encourage others. If you want to talk about your ancestors, please let us know. The only reason why we are talking about Igbo ancestors is because that's the only one we know. We don't know the other ones very well. So we don't want to come and project what we don't know. So if you are, into it and you want to come at the end of the show like we're doing, we'll give you a spot to come and tell us about your ancestors, because I know as long as they are brown ancestors, I know they are better than the ancestors of these other people that we know of. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, this is for all of us. So looking at the American Constitution as the bedrock of America, we know that it's often called the supreme law of the land. They use it as a foundation for which American democracy and society is built. It guides the nation through triumphs and challenges. The constitutional making, of course, went through a process, and that's the process we are lamenting every day, that our own did not go through a process. Some witch and wizard or witches and wizard got together, went to a hotel room, wrote a paper together, even put in there and said, don't let anyone see this. That's part of their constitutional writing. Left everything in there. And a president got sworn in without anybody seeing what the Constitution looked like. Hmm? They didn't even, and they, my dear, we have never seen, this is, talk about 419, is the biggest 419 that was bestowed upon us. And that's why we're going through this process. So that for those of you that are into America, you can see that they did not go to a hotel room. They didn't go through a military decree. They didn't go and hide in a hotel room somewhere and write us a constitution that did not include the consequence. We know that the process is a testament to the framers' foresight and adaptability, which has endured for over centuries, so many centuries. It also provides a framework for the government that balances individual rights with the common good, because that's the issue that we have. Unless if you want Dangote or if you want Jagaban, that's the only way you get justice. If you're an orphan, even if you take a phone and you are accused, you'll be stoned to death immediately. You know, have you ever seen any rich man that has happened to? Have you seen all these politicians that we know for sure they are stealing our money and nothing has happened to them? So when we talk about the individual rights with common good, and when it was made, it was ratified by the diversified component members, the nations of America. So people didn't go on their own and start calling people and pretending like they are part of the process. You went through a ratification.
Yes. Those that say that Nigeria has constitution, ask them who ratified it.
I
When?
know. I know who ratified it, Sister Queen. The
Yeah.
prostitute that was in the room with them.
Okay. I
Yes.
forgot. Ofoye Nazuna, Abiana. Yes. Oh my goodness.
He also went through a remarkable historical journey, which has shaped what US looks like today and is the model for constitutional development worldwide. Hmm? The reason why we like this also includes justice, equity, and fairness, even though it's not extended to all Americans. But at least that's the premise for which it is formed. So let's look at an overview of the
Or they
American
claim
system.
is the model, right? Because
Right.
we know that we'll keep what's the rest, because they claim that is the model, but we know what the model is. It's
We know what
nobody
the
in
model is.
Africa.
Yeah.
Yes.
When it applies to everyone, not when it applies to some part of the society.
Exactly. So it cannot be. We're just bringing to our people what they have, so that you see that we need to do our thing and give ourselves what we need to live the type of life we want. It is our right. It is the people's right. You don't need to beg for it. Please.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. We don't need to beg for. Please continue to help us to like and click that share button. I mean, the like button as we go. So, looking at the overview of American constitutional making process, look. Let's start off with the revolutionary background. We know that the American constitutional making process was profoundly influenced by American Revolution of 1975 to 1978. So they didn't wake up one day and see, oh yeah, let's go and do this thing. Like, oh, let me speak English. When things continue to happen to you the way it's happening to us, it's only an animal that will not look for an alternative that is sustainable. They were dissatisfied with British colonial rules, which began with their desire, which caused their desire for self-governance, that eventually led to Declaration of Independence in 1776, with the 1976, in 1776. Then they went on with the Declaration of Independence in that 1776 as well, which articulate the fundamental principles of individual rights and government by consent. So it was not done. Nobody stole it. Nobody went to frame it by themselves. Nobody is parading it around as if it's the rule of law and the rule of the land, when nobody was consulted. Nobody was part of the decision making. And then in 1777, it was ratified by all 13 states then, because we know they have more than that now. The Continental Congress, during this time, the Continental Congress adopted the Articles of Confederation, which served as a nation first constitution. When it's time, it became clear that the Articles of Confederation was deficient. meaning that it did not provide a strong government, which caused them to have a lot of economic instability and state dispute, like we're having in Nigeria right now with the union dispute. They went further to do something that is right for the constituents, for the people. So they went on with the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia in 1787, which is again, things are not working. We're going one step backwards. We turn around is 20 steps backward. What do we need to do to ensure equity, fairness, and justice amongst everybody in the land so that we can move forward? That's what people are asking. That's what they're asking, knowing that if you're Trump and you commit crime, you go and take a mug shot. If you are a widow and you commit crime, you go and take a mug shot. So that so during this convention, they went on to have it because it was a response to the shortcomings of the Articles of Confederation. There was a delegate from each state that came together to draft a new constitution. And during this time, figures like George Washington, James Madison, Benjamin Franklin that we see in their dollar, they played a pivotal role in the process because they were representing someone from each state. And then they went through debate and compromise. So it's okay. Just the same way human beings work. When I meet with my children on a weekly basis, they tell me things that I'm doing wrong. I tell them things that I'm doing right. It's okay. If you do it like this, you do it like this, then we'll come to a place where you're not mad anymore, I'm not mad, and we can move in unison. So it went through debate and compromise. The Constitutional Convention was marked by intense debates and compromises, which looked at key issues such as balance of power between the federal and the state governments. They also look at the structure of legislative branch, as well as the representation of states in Congress, right? You don't want for the northern part to have enough local government to overshadow the rest of the territory. So basically, the nation belongs to them, or the country belongs to them. Is their estate, is their Osman Danfodio estate. So even if all of you convene in their legislative parlor, you will not get anything done because their number alone has swallowed all of you guys. Talk about representation of states in Congress. Then the Great Compromise resulted in bicameral legislature, which led to two chambers. There was proportional representation in the House of Representatives and equal representation in the Senate. So based on when we talk about proportion, based on the number of people that are there, they can decide, okay, this is the equity that you get on that side, or the number of representation you can get in the House of Representatives. And then when it comes to Senate part of it, there's an equal representation, which we don't have. And that's what we keep telling our people, you know, when they say sham. It has never been, it was never made by the people. It was never for the people. It was never with the people. Everything is against people, but only for those, the puppet leader and those that they are working for, because we know they are working for someone. That's why it's okay for them to call what we have a democracy, or should we call it democracy? They know that nothing is moving forward, but they will tell us, oh, the giant of Africa, the most populous nation, Ebana, Gaga, this and that. And yet, we don't have anything to show for it. The only thing that we show for it is our obedience to our slave masters. So that whenever there is a little mess here and there or disagreement, Blair will fly into the north and redirect his people and then fly back out, because they own the space. And then they went on to have ratification by all the 13 states, like we mentioned earlier. After the Constitution was drafted, of course, he faced a lot of challenges. And then the ratification convention was held in each state to debate and vote on whether to adopt the new Constitution. Speaking about American standard. So that we here, one man, it's not for one man to do in his military degree. It's not for a couple of people to do. So that when we all agree on it, if anything comes of it, then because we are part of it. We supported it. Everybody's interest will be represented, be you small or big or large or whatever, you will be represented. Right now, You don't have that. That's why the oil in Jigawa belongs in the oil in Bayelsa we belong in Jigawa, and you're not getting anything. Here in Texas, we pay very low price for gas because we have a lot of gas now, our land here, compared to in an area where there is no gas. Nkunua, you guys are not benefiting anything. Instead, the gas will cost double the price where you guys are. The Federalists who supported the Constitution engaged in series of persuasive essays called the Federalist Papers. So here, attaching gun. It's not something you do with prostitutes around. It's not something you do in a hotel room. Serious thinking and deliberation, which we know this military decree they didn't even go half. And once it's ratified by all the states, now it can be established as the supreme law of the land. So when they see that things are not working, they make amendments called Bill of Rights, which is good because we want our constitution to serve us. We don't want to be serving the Constitution. Meaning, if we say now, oh, it's okay for the tree to be dancing on the road, and we realize each time the tree dances on the road, it kills someone, we're supposed to go back and say, tree, you can't dance on the road anymore. Maybe if you can dance, maybe in the middle of the night when people are sleeping. Making an amendment so that what we put out there can work for us, not for us to die under the Constitution. So the Bill of Rights was set in motion to address concerns about individual liberties. The first Congress proposed a series of amendments known as Bill of Rights. The 10th Amendment was ratified in 1791, safeguarded fundamental rights such as freedom of speech, religion, due process. That's when you get arrested, nobody should do it. Of course, if you're brown, this thing may not work for you. If you're brown, they can take you out before the due process. Therefore, those that they made it for, when they get arrested, you don't even have to say anything. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be given to you and this and that, and you're innocent. Even if your hand is caught red-handed while committing the crime, you're innocent until a jury of your peers finds you guilty. So what this allows is that nobody can make any accusation. They need to do an investigation. Somebody can wake up and say, oh, my pastor told me you're a witch, and then you get taken out. Or somebody can wake up and, oh, you stole a phone, and then you get stoned. No, we need to see how did you get that phone in your hand first? And then there's expansion and amendments. Over the years, the Constitution was amended 27 times to reflect the changing needs and values, like I mentioned earlier, because we want the Constitution to serve our purpose. These amendments have expanded civil rights, granted voting rights, and adjusted the mechanics of the federal government. When we look at the judicial interpretation, the Supreme Court, through different landmarks, have played a crucial role. Not the one that will swallow your mandate. The lower courts will tell you, people will come in there, be sleeping, while they're presenting a swallowed mandate. All your people there are sleeping, and all this thing. They will wake up and say, yeah, we'll see you at the Supreme Court. Which Supreme Court are they seeing you at? You see that you have been punked. What you have is not a democracy. What you have is not a constitution. You don't have a democracy either. What you have is a sham. You've been punked. They gave you a sham called demon and crazy combined together. That's what you have. That's why everything is going haywire. Nothing works. They will wake up, go to court. People are pretending as if they have justice in Nigeria. Let me go. Judicial justice, eyes on justice. Which justice do you have eyes on? The only place they have eyes on is to take you out because you may be very stupid.